I'm sure you must have been to a few restaurants and raved about more than just food. That's right, I'm talking about restaurants that have a unique decor and ambience. One such restaurant is China Garden at Hotel Ashok in Delhi. We meet the men behind its interiors.
With an impressive portfolio that encompasses everything from residences to offices and from factories to retail outlets. K&S Architects started out as a small firm set by three friends, Kanai Gandhi, Nimish Shah and Shreyash Kashyap.
K&S started as KS Associates in 1997. We've always been three friends who passed out together from college and started this company. Initially, we were a smaller setup. Over the years, we've grown up and we've grown as a company. K&S was just formed about a couple of years back. It was a step further towards getting a broader perspective over our company and getting a broader overview, handling bigger projects, expanding a bit more. That's where K&S Architects Private Limited was established. And now we are about 45 people. We have senior designers, associates, senior architects working with us. And we as a team are associated with a whole lot of companies which provide us other services like, it's basically, you would say it's a one-stop shop solution for all your requirements as far as architecture and interior designing plus retail designing goes.
Currently, we've actually divided the company into three parts here. The architecture, interior and retail, and which is further sub-segmented into the different aspects here. Like for example, interior would cover residential, commercial, even restaurants, things like those there.
One can say doing up interiors for a restaurant is more challenging than say doing up a home, especially when you take customer volume into consideration.
See, the overall look and all obviously is a different ballgame altogether, but in terms of selection of materials, very crucial because it has to be very maintainable, because restaurants, they shouldn't age, because that's the easiest way if a restaurant starts looking horrible, because if you don't use the right material, it starts aging pretty soon. And restaurants are supposed to have a life, at least these days, at least 3 or 4 years is something that you look at for the interiors to get you through.
So it's very important to work on the circulation of a restaurant. That's become very challenging. And let's say when you're doing an office or you're doing a residential project, you're catering to just maybe a family or maybe a close-knit people. But when you're doing a restaurant, a commercial space, you're looking at like thousands of people walking in and out. So there are different ways of looking at it. So thinking each and every person's thought when it comes into designing a particular space. Yeah. Like even placement of a particular table, how it should be, whether it should be a 4-seater or a 6-seater, whether it should be a rectangular table or a round table.
The partners have recently finished work on the swanky restaurant China Garden at Hotel Ashok, and they take us through the entire process.
Mr. Wang has a lot of confidence in three of us, that if he really wants to do something with a punch, which he can tell the world about, that would be K&S. And he did work with a lot of other designers in the past, but for his new venture, which was like the one to start off with in a very big way in Delhi, was the China Garden at the Ashok.
The site itself was very challenging. Why? Because it was an existing restaurant earlier. It was a Chinese restaurant earlier. A whole lot of levels in terms of we didn't have, at one end we had about 9 feet of height, the other end we had about 20 feet of height. So instead of looking at it as a backdrop, as a disadvantage or this thing, we took it towards, we worked on the same lines. We had the center area where we had the focal point of the entire restaurant, the entire spine of the restaurant, which had a height of about 20 feet. And the seating areas were made more cozy and more comfortable and more warm, with about 9 feet of height. So the planning was done the way the site demanded it to be done.
The entrance, the bar and the lounge area are some of Kanhai and Shesh's personal favorite. But any good project comes with its own set of challenges that requires innovative solutions.
The primary thing is a mix of being very contemporary along with playing with very typical Chinese elements. That's what I think we managed to blend well together for it to actually look the way it is looking right now. That was the...
No, and the other thing also was that Delhi as a place also demands a lot of, they like seeing good stuff done, they like seeing opulent stuff. So there was a lot of gold-leafing used to get that kind of an effect. We have a 12-foot Buddha that stands right in the middle of the restaurant, and the way it was, like as soon as you enter the restaurant, we had a nice grill for the reception which acted as a backdrop, and within that grill we had an opening which actually framed the Buddha. So when you enter, that's the first thing that you see, and over that the height is about 12 feet, and the ceiling actually converges onto it. The ceiling is high at that level, and then suddenly it converges down, focusing on Lord Buddha. He is seated on a water body which has actual live fish which are in the water body, and those are the things which add the vibrancy to the restaurant, even in terms of movement, even in terms of color.
That's the mix we're talking about, which again symbolizing the Chinese architecture and character. So that was blended with something which was very modern, which is like clean, straight lines. You had the colors which are primarily black and gold. That was the main theme of the restaurant. We had a very big feature wall which was almost 40-50 feet, 60 feet in length, which is full of teapots here. Earthenware, typical old school Chinese teapots.
And the whole wall is treated like a window. It's like a picture frame. It actually looks like a frame. It looks like a painting. So, and there are almost about 600-700 teapots kept in that wall. So it just gives you a very impactful wall. And the best thing about this whole thing is the center of this whole space, we have a bar, which is a sit-on bar. It's a sitting bar basically. And over that we have a grill which is suspended from the ceiling, which is about almost 20 feet by 20 feet. So it just gives you that gives you that opulence, but it's not jarring. You know what I mean. It's not on your face. So it just gives you that subtle touch of class and touch of elegance.
Well, that's all we have for you on the show today. Please do write in with your feedback and suggestions at hotproperty@ndtv.com or SMS us at 56388. We'll be back next week with a new set of investment options. Till then, stay tuned to the channel for a lot more.